Thank you very much for your testimony. Before we proceed to questions, I have a series of questions which all nominees must respond to, so together you can respond as appropriately. Have you adhered to applicable laws and regulations governing conflicts of interest?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Have you assumed any duties or taken any actions that would appear to presume the outcome of the confirmation process?
No.
No.
Exercising our legislative and oversight responsibility makes it important that this committee, its subcommittees, and other appropriate committees of Congress receive testimony, briefings, reports, records, and other information from the executive branch on a timely basis. Do you agree, if confirmed, to appear and testify before this committee when requested?
Yes.
Do you agree to provide records, documents, and electronic communications in a timely manner when requested by this committee, its subcommittees, or other appropriate committees of Congress, and to consult with the requester regarding the basis of any good faith delay or denial in providing such records?
Yes.
Yes.
Will you ensure that your staff complies with deadlines established by this committee for the production of reports, records, and other information, including timely responding to hearing questions for the record?
Yes.
Yes.
Will you cooperate in providing witnesses and briefers in response to congressional requests?
Yes.
Yes.
Will those witnesses and briefers be protected from reprisal for their testimony or briefings?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, Dr. Honey, what first struck me was your extraordinary experience in so many fields that are directly applicable to the position you've been nominated to. So that, I think, should be noted up front. As you know, we've been very concerned about the production of microchips, the supply base. As you know, we passed the CHIPS Act, working to provide funding for the development of domestic microelectronics manufacturing. And the key effort is ensuring that the U.S. has capabilities that support both state-of-the-art commercial needs and DoD needs. It's been the history, though, that DoD has tried to go it alone too many times by using trusted foundries, which doesn't really work out because they're not commercially viable and they don't have the technological edge that some of our commercial entities can get. So I'd like your assurance that you'll support efforts to develop commercially viable domestic microelectronics and not retreat to the foundry approach.
Yes, Senator, I agree. The DoD needs, are very important to me, and while Trusted Foundry has had great utility for the department in the past, in my experience, keeping that up to the commercial state-of-the-art standards and making that available to the defense industrial base and thus to our warfighters just hasn't worked out. So new models are needed, and I am committed, if confirmed for this position, to work those issues and ensure that we're on a path to get commercial state-of-the-art available to our performers and ultimately into our weapon systems.
Thank you very much, Dr. Perry. Ms. Fulton, Secretary Austin implemented the Independent Review Commission at the direction of the President. There was a series of recommendations in response, of course, to the scourge of sexual assault and harassment we've always witnessed. First, I would assume and ask for your confirmation that you'll make this your top priority or one of your top priorities.
Yes, Senator, we have to address the blight of sexual harassment and assault if we expect to continue to attract and retain talent. If we expect to build effective teams, we've got to address this. And a big part of my job, if I'm confirmed, will be building a prevention workforce and addressing the leader challenges that were highlighted by the Independent Review Commission.
Thank you. Many of the Commission's recommendations do not require legislation, so I assume and expect that you will immediately begin to do what you can do administratively. I know there's already been some changes, that we have a civilian head now with the CID, but we have to be much more aggressive, and prevention is really the goal. It's not simply adjudication. Are you committed to that effort?
Yes, Senator, I'm completely committed. There is an urgency around this issue, and if confirmed, I would definitely put that as one of my top priorities.
Thank you. Ms. Henderson, and I've probably pronounced your name 3 different ways. Forgive me
Hinderstein is correct. Thank you, Senator.
Hinderstein. So it's,
There are a few options.
as Meatloaf would say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So anyway, forgive me. In July of 2019, you told CNBC News that, quote, I see no indication that Iran is rushing toward a nuclear weapon, and they are taking steps that can be reversed. Could you clarify those remarks in regard to your assessment at the time?
Thank you, Senator, and I appreciate you bringing up this really important issue of Iran's technical capability. The purpose of my comments at the time, and others similarly, was not to minimize the threat posed by Iran, but to differentiate the increasingly dangerous uranium enrichment activity from the broad suite of activities that would be required for them to actually produce a nuclear weapon. My comments were consistent with what I was seeing from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence's unclassified annual threat assessment, which said that Iran was not currently undertaking the activities that would be required to produce a nuclear device. So I think that is the context. It was really a technical assessment on the weaponization issue, but it's certainly not to undermine any concern about the progression of the uranium enrichment activities.
Well, how do you see Iran's nuclear program advancing since you made those remarks?
Iran's nuclear program has certainly advanced as they've increased both the scope and scale of the uranium enrichment activities. And I think it's going to be very important, if confirmed, that I understand what the current assessment is of those activities and how that might have changed our underlying understanding about their program.
Thank you very much. Senator Inhofe, please.